Welcome to the Body Science Podcast. As always, the information contained in this podcast is for the information purposes only and is not designed to diagnose or be prescriptive to treat, prevent, or manage any injury, disease, or other health-related condition.
Welcome to Body Science HQ, the world of fit, happy, healthy. I have with me long-time friend of the brand, Luke Burt. How are you, mate?
Great, Greg. Yourself, mate?
Good. And you're super coaching at the Bears here on the Goldie?
At the Mighty Bears, yeah. Beautiful spot, beautiful part of the coast and a sensational club. So, mate, yeah, loving it.
With him is Sam Coster, and Sam's one of the players. And what we want to talk about, Bertie's been telling me about, he just loves the athletes at the club.
Yep.
And he said we should talk about the life of an athlete that's playing footy because they love footy.
Yeah.
Unlike Bertie, who was big contracts and, lived a life, dropped off in a limo every day and stuff and had a masseuse at home and stuff.
Never worked it out in his life.
Never done a hard yard in his life. The para machine.
Yeah. It's a little bit different. Sort of everyone at the club, besides the Bronco affiliate guys we get back, everyone works a full-time job. Sort of got a lot of tradies, a lot of guys who work office jobs. But just for myself, a normal day with training would probably look like leaving home at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Sort of roll out to work to about 2:33 and then come into training and then sort of get training done and not getting home to 8:30. That's 3 nights a week.
How many times a week are you doing that?
3 nights a week.
3 nights a week?
Yeah. You definitely got to still love rugby league if that's the path of playing Queensland or New South Wales Cup.
Yeah. And is there more sessions outside of that you got to do yourself because Bertie doesn't give you the full kit or what? Is he giving you the whole 3 days a week, mate? What's going on with that?
No, I think during the preseason you probably want to get a couple more in, and then during the season I like to just get a Tuesday just to the gym, a little bit of extra conditioning and just some weights just to keep the body ticking over for some injury prevention stuff as well.
Yep, recover. Eh?
Yeah.
So you're working as a tradie, are you?
Yep.
6 o'clock in the morning start, you said?
Yeah, leave home at 6:30 start.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot of hours of life. And do you get from the club, and not the club so much because it's a game, do you get from the game more in life because of that commitment that you've got to put in that's an over and above? Being a tradie itself is fucking training 5 days a week, isn't it? Like you're training all day long, you're lifting, whatever you're doing, you're not sitting around on the end of a desk.
I think because I've never been lucky enough to be in a full-time system. I've always pretty much for 10 years now I've done that. So I think I don't take it for granted. And I know I probably don't have that long left playing, probably 30 now. So sort of I just...
Looking for head coach role?
head coach is doing all right.
How's the game that well? He'll take my job at the moment, the way he's going.
Yeah, so I honestly feel grateful that I still get to play at a reasonably high level. And I still love the game as much as I ever have. I'm probably just loving the game even more, to be honest. And having a supportive family at home helps as well.
Yeah. I was just about to touch on that, mate. I think I said to you before, Greg, I'm in awe of these blokes.
Exactly.
To be honest with you, the full-timers, you're pretty spoiled. You get to work early in the morning and you're home, probably school pickup most days.
Yep.
Another thing that Costa just touched on, they've all got wives and kids as well. We're a real family club at the moment. We've got a lot of kids in the club. The sacrifice those mums have to make to look after those kids 3 nights a week, once on the weekend. We travel all around Queensland as well. It's pretty incredible the sacrifice they give and what they get for it. So yeah, I'm in awe of the players, what they do, because they work full time and then and when they train, it's physical training. It's not coming there and just putting your feet up and enjoying yourself. So we knock it out nice and quick and try and get home to the families. But those wives and partners and kids at home, they sacrifice a lot of time for what they do. So I'm in awe of these blokes. It's pretty impressive.
And he's not full of shit, man. This is why he wanted to do the podcast. He said we need to talk to some of these players and what life is actually like. Because when Body Sciences joined forces with the club this year, like as a nutrition partner and compression partner.
Yep.
And the energy drink partner.
We got every part of Body Science,
every bit of partner we could go in there.
At the Burleigh Bears.
And it was probably the chat that Bertie had about the players and what he was just talking about there, because it's a start and a stop in sponsorship. It's a hard gig when you're not a one team. We're not a one team wonder. And when he told the story about you guys, it just resonated with us. And he said, let's go and tell that story. And it's one thing I want to touch on just heading down that path is you really take, because as a tradie, you're taking a big risk playing footy.
Yeah.
Because you're going full contact sport and that's your income and your family on the other side. And I assume it's not like elite, like playing for the Titans or playing for Dolphins or Broncos or something. The support system around injuries would be a lot less.
Yeah, there is something there that would help us out a little bit if something were to happen, but it's not 100% on what you'd be making at work.
Yeah.
But there is something there to help. But yeah, there is a certain risk to it, which just adds to, you definitely got to love it. to take that risk and for it to all be worth it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
That's another sacrifice too, mate. Like touching on, they don't have the physio full time like
exactly.
at full time clubs, so they have to take time off work or sort of squeeze it in between work and training on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Again, taking time away from their family to get physio done, so they can get on the field the next week.
It's a tough gig, isn't it?
It's just and that's the thing. Like I said, dear mate, when we spoke about it originally, how important it is to get that message out there about what these blokes do.
Yeah. Your Q Cup got salary cap?
Yeah, there is a salary cap.
There's a salary cap there too?
Yeah, so there's only a maximum any player can earn, and
so there's a max a player can earn.
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of that, what's it like having like Broncos players drop back into your team? Does that make the game harder or easier?
Depends who you get back. We've been pretty lucky. We've got some good guys back. They sort of come in and buy in, and they help us win games. And our goal is to help them get back to where they want to be. Yep. It always works out pretty well, I think. And both parties are on the same page. Yeah, I haven't seen too much of a drama with it.
Hey, buddy, that's a new one. You've left the Titans and gone to Brisbane. Do you want to talk about why? That's a loaded question, eh?
I was going to say, I think I wrote to Sharon and said, Sharon, let's be careful on the questions today, please.
No, but the Broncos, like that's an impressive club this year. Like they are just looking good on the field, off the field, on social media, everywhere they are. Everything they're touching is gold.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of similarities as a club, and the Broncos have been a great relationship so far with us. And at the Burleigh Bears, we need and enjoy that NRL experience that come back to us, but we don't need large numbers. We don't rely on that. We've got players like Costa here and a lot of boys that are seasoned cuppers that we're happy to go into any game with just Burleigh Bears players.
Yep.
So those additional players that came in are a bonus. And this year we're pretty lucky. Our 5'8", Josh Rogers, he played with us since 2018, I think he was, at the Bear. Then he got a full-time gig at the Broncos. And since we've gone back to him,
that works both ways.
He's come back to us.
Yep.
And he's been a permanent fixture in our side and sort of kicked off that combination with our little halfback. And he's been a permanent fixture, which is great. And then you get that odd sort of big bopper that comes in every now and again that slots in around Sam. And our boys have got a really good leadership group at our club that sort of those blokes come back and they buy right into it. And we rock and roll on the weekend. It's awesome.
And mate, do you have much say over who comes back and positions in that space as a coach, or do you sort of just get delivered the goods and told to deal with it?
Yeah, we have a discussion in the preseason of players allocated.
Yeah.
But as for week-to-week basis, that's totally up to Kevy Walters, the NRL coach at the Bronx. He has full say in who comes and goes, plays or doesn't play. As for positions, they ask, but they're pretty lenient and they'll work with us. And with us, like I said, we've got a lot of boys that have played a lot of Q Cup and sort of fixtures of the Burleigh Bears side.
Yep.
So those players come in and they just play their role in and around that, and it's really good. But yeah, we sort of just, we're happy to have the boys back, but we're not desperate to get them back every week.
Yeah. Mate, can I ask a dumb question because I'm full of them? Why does Burleigh Bears, who's a really financial club, so it's not a financial reason, why do they need to be with an elite association? Why does the club need that?
That's a good question. Financially, I don't think it's the reason. The reason is that we can provide a pathway. We are a pathways club. Yep, we want to win the Q Cup Grand Final, and I want to, Sam wants to. But we're a pathway. So we need to show kids or players that they can come to our club and they've got a pathway to an NRL system. Yep. That's the most important thing. We want to see Burleigh Bears juniors that are playing at our juniors club across the road. We want them to come over and see us want to play for the Bears because they know it's a pathway to play for the Broncos or the Titans. Obviously, the Titans can come and pick up our kids as well in this catchment. So, we're a really big development club and we want to push blokes in NRL. There's kids that have come through and now playing NRL at the Warriors in Tane Tuapiki, who Costa has a really tight relationship with, and we're really proud to see them go along. We'd love to lock them up and win comps with them.
Yep.
But the whole goal is to play NRL for these kids, and that's the main reason we have that affiliation.
And Sammy, did you come to the Gold Coast to play
for Burleigh?
For Burleigh?
Yep.
That's a cool story too, isn't it?
Yeah. So I just finished up down in Wollongong in 2016 playing New South Wales Cup for Dragons. And I was sort of there for 5 years and enjoyed my time there. Had a little bit of success and sort of nothing was going to come of it. So me and my partner, it's at the time now wife just wanted to change and just thought, well, why not Southeast Queensland somewhere?
Yep.
And Burleigh just happened to be the landing spot. And it was meant to be just for 1 year, just to see what would happen. But yeah, sort of 6 years later.
You hear that a lot about the Gold Coast. I'll just go and check it out for a year.
Yeah.
There's a story Costa always says, and he rubs it into the boys. In 2016, he won the grand final with, was it the
Cutters, they'll call it.
The Cutters, Illawarra Cutters.
Yep.
So he won the grand final in the New South Wales Cup. Burleigh Bears won it in the Q Cup. So they have the national final on grand final day where they play each other. Sam's team smashed the Burleigh Bears on that day, and he rubs it into the boys still this day because was there 2 or 3 boys that were played in that game that are still playing today with him?
Yeah, there was a few.
And he loves rubbing it in. So it's quite funny. He's a humble man, but he don't mind having a bit of a banter with the boys about that.
That's gold. And the club's got some real heritage too. Like it's 100 years old.
Huge year for us this year.
Is that a lot for you? A lot of pressure to win a premiership? How good would it be if you did?
It's actually it's a huge honour and privilege I feel to be involved in coaching at the Burleigh Bears in the 100th year. Like it's got rich history. It's a great club. Yeah, you'd love to celebrate it the best way possible. To be honest with you, Greg, but we'll be doing everything we can to make sure it's a good celebration for our 100th year. And
Bertie, how many people in your roster like for a Q Cup team?
We're around about the 40 to 42. So we run like a miniature NRL squad pretty much.
Yep.
We've got a Q Cup side and an A grade side that play in the local Gold Coast competition.
Yep.
So we have a pool there at any stage available between 30 and 40 players depending on injuries and being that sort of the semi-professional. There's boys that go away or have work commitments that can't play or can't train sometimes. So your squad can vary. But yeah, we on our roster we have around that sort of 40 mark because we got to fill 2 teams each week.
And is coaching for you a full-time gig now?
Yeah, it's full-time. Yeah. So at the Bears, lucky enough to be full-time. The good thing there, you get to know other parts of the job. It's really a rewarding job. There's times there where you might be out line marking the field. You might be picking up deliveries from BSC.
We love it when you come in too, just quietly.
I love coming in here because there's always a few little extras, so I don't complain about that. But it's not just coaching. It's great that I have the time to put into these boys to try and develop players to become NRL players by being full time. But it's also great that I can put in that time to get the best performance for the boys or the best preparation for the boys for the weekend's game. So I'm very lucky. Yeah, Costa bagged me before about being a full-time footballer and being blessed. I'm pretty blessed now doing this role I've got now, mate. So I'm very, very lucky.
How long were you at Para for?
As an NRL player, I was 14 years in the NRL, but I was actually at the club for 20 years in total. So, I started there in 97. 99, I debuted, retired in 2012, but then went into coaching after that and sort of coached till the end of 2017.
So where have you coached?
Coached at Para as a sort of like the third assistant in NRL with the transition from Cup to NRL, and then had 2 years in 16 and 17 as the head coach of the under-20s NYC.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I was lucky enough to do a World Cup with Brad Fittler, Freddie with 11 on side, and that was an interesting experience with Freddie. I love him; he's hilarious, Freddie. But also the Lebanese side, they were an interesting crew with a lot of strong personalities, which I love doing. And then got a call from the Titans and assistant coach for the Titans for 2 years.
Yep.
Didn't work out the way we wanted to work out. And then sort of went back to the drawing board, and I went as far back as I was running water and doing a bit of coaching for the local under-20s at Burleigh until Rick Stone sort of saw me running the water for him, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Just helping out where I can." And then he said, "Well, come and help out the Cup boys as an assistant coach." So I jumped in there for a couple of years, and lucky enough to end up where I am now.
Nice. And Sam, what does a week look like from like Bertie's programming? Like what are you guys up to that 3 days of on-site?
Monday will generally be come in, do review from the game from the weekend.
Yep.
Do that, and then that'll involve some individual review and some team review. Then we'll do just a little bit of gym stuff, a little bit on the field, and then recovery. And then we come in Wednesday, which is sort of our big session for the week. Do our gym, do good field session. We might go for about an hour and a half, get everything down pat that we want to game plan for that weekend, and then back in on Friday at captain's run, sort of just all the work's been done, but just sharpening the axe, so to speak, getting ready to go for either the following day or Sunday, whatever day the game falls.
And if you got a few more years left to play, you reckon?
Yep. Yeah.
How old are you?
30.
30?
Yep. No, body still feels good. I like to think I look after myself pretty well. Still love the game. Coming to training, I don't feel like is a chore yet, which
That's
I feel
good.
like, yeah. So I feel like when training starts to become a little bit hard, that might be an early sign that the end is near. But yeah,
That's not really when the coach goes, though, isn't it?
Nah. Yeah.
He's not going anywhere, mate. He's playing the next few years. He played 80 minutes in the middle on the weekend, so he's got plenty of years left in him.
Nice. And what are you guys? Where's the Bears at with the women's team?
Yeah, we've actually won the last 2 years in the BMD, which is equivalent to.
Not too bad then.
Yeah. No, they're going really
Going
well.
all
So,
right.
yeah, Damien Driscoll is real proud. We were one of the sort of earlier teams to get the girls program up and running at the club.
Yep.
And the amount of girls, I don't know the exact figure, we'd have to get it from the club, but the amount of juniors and senior girls we've got at the club now is pretty incredible. Like for the seniors club, we had a representative 17s, representative 19s, the open BMD girls, where we get NRLW girls, Australian representatives, Kiwi representatives at our club playing, and obviously winning the last 2 years. The Queensland competition is pretty impressive. So it's a real priority, not priority, but a real focus for us as a club to make sure, that the women's game is developed and they've got a pathway through the Burleigh Bears.
That's good. And mate, does the club see? Is there ever a chance of the Bears looking to be like one of the major franchises? Do you think there'll ever be a play, or because we couldn't hold two teams in this town, or?
Yeah, I've never really thought about it, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think it would be tough to have a couple of teams in this catchment, but you never know.
Because it's a rich rugby league area.
Oh, it's sensational. With PBC down the road and northern New South Wales, there's some great juniors. Keebler's just up the road. There's Marsden. That's not too much further up there. So it's a great catchment. This southeast Queensland area, and then I think that's why there was never a problem about the Dolphins coming in. I thought there's enough talent. Around this sort of area that it's okay. But yeah, to be honest with you, mate, never ever thought about it. You probably have to ask the hierarchy about that.
Yeah, well, you're going to pull the coach card now, are you? I don't caught up in the politics. I just play coach.
That's the line in. I'm learning. I watch all the press conferences, so I've got to learn somehow, mate.
And are you guys heavily working with dietitians at your level and type of thing, or are you pretty much doing your own thing?
No, you pretty much got to do your own thing.
Yep.
A lot of guys, I don't know. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think everyone gets to a point where they know how their body works and what nutrition they need and how can they get to where they need to perform. So, yeah, it's completely up to the individual sort of at our level.
But if there's a great sponsor that will want to send their dietitian, would you listen, Costa?
Well, we probably
nudge.
We probably can organise for a great sponsor to send a dietitian over there to have a chat and work out. Where are you in the season at the moment?
7 rounds in.
7 rounds in, so it's not too late to do that then.
Definitely not too late. If there's anyone available that you might know, mate.
We can definitely set that up. I think that's a good thing.
So do I.
Yeah, it's Mark's pretty clever in that space too. What would you say to young kids playing footy? Like, just keep doing it for the passion. Do it because you want to become a career footballer. Like, when the young guys come up to you at the club, you got a massive club. Like, people in New South Wales, Victoria wouldn't understand this. There's a lot of juniors. It's one of the biggest junior clubs in Australia. Is that correct?
I think it is the biggest now.
Yeah.
I think we just got those numbers over the last 2 years, but definitely in Queensland, it's the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose I can reword this. Are you, as a elite player at the club, do you spend a lot of time in the junior ranks with the kids or schools and that type of thing?
No, not really. Not with the schools and that. It's hard to find the time.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, with full-time work and that. But we get a lot of young guys come through and do a pre-season with us and spend some time with the older boys and that, which is always enjoyable. And they come in, they ask a lot of questions, train hard, which, I find it nice. Especially in the last couple of years, I've really found an enjoyment in helping out the younger guys.
Yeah.
Just for all the right reasons, like play the game because you love it, because it's what you did when you were 4, 5, 6 years old because you loved it, not because you wanted a career out of it.
Yep.
Which that's how I felt and still feel to this day. Only playing because I love it. Yeah, I would say that. And probably the younger you are, harder you work, because when you get a little bit older, it sort of becomes a little bit harder to keep putting in that work. It's more about sort of maintaining the body and getting it right for the weekend.
Yeah, nice. And Bertie, from a point of view as like coaching perspective, how far do your tentacles go through the lower levels and the clubs and the other coaches? And is there a big community of trying to lift the coaches up in the place overall? Or
Yeah, there is. At the moment, at the start of this season, we had 9 teams under sort of our banner as a senior club. That's a boys and girls 17s, boys and girls 19s. Then we've got obviously our sides, the BMD girls sides, and a couple other sides there. So there is that, and just being available, I think, because the rep sides train the Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and then there's alternate nights, Tuesday and Thursday, where the girls train. So as it's been available, and we've got some really good coaches through our ranks. That's really important there. And the best thing is most of our coaching ranks have kids over at the juniors, so a lot of us do a bit of coaching over there as well. Okay. So, on most Tuesday and Thursday nights, I'm over there where possible, and always willing to help out. I don't want to stand on anyone's toes, but, always willing to help out. I've got a young fella playing over there, so it's good.
On the wing?
No, he's at fullback.
Fullback? You played fullback as well too, didn't you?
Yeah, I played a bit at fullback,
Fullback or wing? What was mainly...
Sorry?
What were you mainly?
A majority on the wing.
Yeah.
I think I played, I don't know. Someone told me one day it was a certain percentage, and then in the centres as well, I played a handful as well. So, and I always like telling everyone 2 games in the halves.
2 games probably in the halves.
Out of the 260 odd, they'd be 2 favourite ones when I played in the halves.
Yeah, Mick Crocker's got a similar story about playing 5'8" for Australia. Same as number 6 jersey. You just don't think of him wearing that ever, do you?
No. Jeez. He'd bash some people out there.
Yeah. Well, boys, thanks for coming on. I think it's really cool to talk to like that sport that's at a high level, but you've got to self-fund, like you said. Like you got to go out, put the time in, do the hard yards, deal with the pain, deal with the family. Like that's a tough fucking gig.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I must say, when you talk to those NRL boys that come back, they don't realise, I think, the blokes that never played Q Cup, I don't think they realise the intensity and how hard it is and how tough it is. And when they come back, you often hear them say, shit, that's a lot tougher and harder than what I thought it was going to be. Like, I just thought it was just like, it's not too far off these NRL guys. And I'm not saying that. I've said it to his face and I've said it behind his back, but this bloke here next to me is probably one of the most unluckiest blokes never to play NRL. Like it's one of those blokes and that I think if you got the opportunity, you wouldn't let anyone down. So if anyone wants him at 30, I'd still throw him out their door.
Get on board. How do people find you? Insty?
No, I'm not very active on Instagram. Got an account, but probably upload once every 6 months.
Give me a call.
Yeah, give Bertie a call.
Yeah. Get on board. Thanks for coming on, guys. And like, we love being with the club. It's the first year. There's a strong history in the past, but there's a first, and we've been there through somebody else I found out recently. But it's good to be on board, and look forward to seeing more and more footy.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on, mate.